Hello, dear students. Today we will do the derivatives of skin. So let's start. The various derivatives of skin are hair, nails, sebaceous glands, sweat glands, and their modifications. That is the mammary glands, the Meibomian glands, and the ceruminous glands. So let's study them in detail. Now, here you see the cross section of skin showing hair. That's the first derivative which we are going to do. There is one part of the hair which projects outside the epidermis of skin. A little bit of it goes inside the dermis as well. This part is called as the hair shaft. The part of the hair which is present in the dermis, that's called as the hair root. The part of hair root which is swollen, slightly enlarged in size, that part is called as the hair bulb. So the hair bulb and the hair root, they are the living structures of the hair. Now, around the hair root and the hair bulb, there is a part of connective tissue and the epithelial tissue of the dermis. That is the hair follicle. So hair follicle provides pigmentation to the hair root and the hair bulb. So whatever a hair color is basically because of the pigment melanin derived from the hair follicle. When people display graying of hair, in between, small minor patches of air spaces are created, due to which the air shaft starts giving a silvery or a gray appearance. We use the term graying of hair in that case. That means that's generally due to aging. It may be due to a hormonal influence as well. Now here you see a small inward projection inside the hair bulb. This part is called as the hair papilla. The hair papilla is supplied with blood and nerve endings. So the hair are also able to sense all the sensations which are felt by the dermis because of the nerve receptors which are present here. The hair are also excellent sensory organs because of the receptors present in the hair papilla. So the hair papilla is richly supplied with blood vessels and with nerve endings, making the hair an excellent sense organ. Now here you see a part of the hair under a microscope. So you can see the hair shaft, which is projected upward, and the hair root, which is the living part and present in the dermis region. The swollen part of the hair root, which I told you, is called as the hair bulb. And under the hair bulb, you have the hair papilla bearing the nerve endings and the blood vessels. So this is the living part which will keep on providing new cells for the hair bulb and the hair root to extend upward and ultimately change into the hair shaft, which will be projected out of the epidermis. And there is the nutritive layer present, which is called as the hair follicle. This hair follicle will be providing nutrition and will also be providing coloration to your hair. So whatever your hair color is, it is basically because of the melanin provided by the hair follicle. Hair are continuously lost and regrown. The life of scalp hair is 2 to 5 years. The scalp hair are the hair on your head. Their lifespan is 2 to 5 years. The life of hair on eyebrows and eyelashes, it is only 3 to 5 months. So different body parts have hair having different lifespans. Now there is one important phenomena which is shown by hair, that's called as goose flesh. This is due to piloerection. Now, what is goose flesh? Sometimes you must have observed when we are frightened or scared, we have this pimply appearance on the skin. The hair stand on end like this. It can be due to static electricity. It can be you are scared or afraid or a very strong emotion is displayed. In all these cases, there is a muscle which is attaching the dermis part of the skin with the hair follicle. This muscle contracts. Now, when this muscle will contract, it will pull the hair, otherwise which is placed obliquely, in a straight position. When the hair is pulled straight, it will create a little depression in this area, giving this segment where the hair is standing straight a raised pimple-like projection. This is called as goose flesh. And it is due to piloerection. Why? Because the erector pili muscle here is contracting and pulling the hair straight. So since the hair is pulled straight, we say it's due to piloerection. That means body hair, they stand straight. So this is a phenomena which is generally displayed when somebody is scared or you experience static electricity, etc. Now hair from different body parts, they are different and they help in forensic investigation. The hair of a person may be curly, the hair may be straight, they may be belonging to males, they may be belonging to females. The hair from the mustache and the beard will be different from the hair which are present on the remaining part of the body. The hair of children are different, the hair of other body parts, whether it's in the nostril or whether it's in the mustache, they are different for a different person. The hair may be golden, they may be brown, they may be black. So hair are different. Each and every person's DNA is displayed by the hair. And this can be used in forensic investigation, in criminal investigation. When we are trying to find out the source of the hair, they can be used as a very strong evidence in forensic investigations. Hair also help in sexual dimorphism. Now, what is sexual dimorphism? In nature, we are able to distinguish between males and females by a very different manner. For example, a lion and a lioness. A lion has a mane, a lioness has no mane. A buck and a doe. You can distinguish them with the antlers. The buck will have, that is, the male deer will have antlers, the female will not have antlers. A peacock and a peahen. A peahen does not have the beautiful feathers which are found in a peacock. So these are examples where you can distinguish between males and females just on their physical appearance. Same way between human males and human females, just by looking at their face. A male will have a mustache and a beard. A female is not going to have either a mustache or a beard. In some rare cases, the females may display a mustache and a beard, but that is due to hormonal influence. Otherwise, in majority of the population, this is due to sexual dimorphisms. That means the male and female are distinguished sexually into two different sexes just by presence or absence of hair. So body hair, they help to distinguish between males and females. Now the next skin derivative which we are going to do is called human nail. The nail is made up of nail plate. This is hard keratinized cell structure which is found externally as the outermost covering. It is this covering which extends outward from your finger or your toes, and you can clip it with a nail clipper. Now underneath the nail plate lies this pinkish segment which you are seeing, pinkish group of cells which you are seeing. This is called as the nail bed or root. Now this consists of deeper living layer of epidermis. It has a network of blood capillaries, and this network of blood capillaries are present in the dermis region, and they provide nutrition for the growing nail. Next to it is the nail matrix. Now nail matrix is the part of the nail plate which is underneath this cuticle or the skin layer, and it is this matrix which will grow and divide and form new cells which will ultimately come out as nail plate. Now the nail matrix in certain people is visible a little here. That half moon structure or a crescent structure which is visible in some people, it is called as lunula. Now this is simply a part of the nail matrix. Normally the cuticle grows over it, and in some cases the lunula is not visible, but in some people the nail plate is quite clearly visible. Then that lunula is visible as a crescent or a half moon structure here. So this is nothing but the nail matrix which will grow and form the nail plates in front. Then we have the two glands which are found in the skin, the sweat gland and the sebaceous gland. Now the sebaceous glands produce a secretion called sebum. It is this sebum which will be released inside the hair follicle and will lubricate your hair, and excess of sebum is poured on the skin surface and will keep your skin soft and supple. The sweat glands, on the other hand, are of two types, apocrine and eccrine. The apocrine sweat glands, as are found in your armpits and the groin area, that is the external genitalia, are contained in the groin area, the area between your two thighs and below the navel region. So the apocrine sweat glands, they will open into the hair follicle where the sebaceous glands are also opening, and together they will both be covering your hair follicle, and excess of it will pour out on the skin surface. So this is responsible for the very unique odor which comes from the armpits as well as the groin area. The eccrine sweat glands are otherwise found on the remaining body. They pour their secretion directly through a pore on the surface of the epidermis. So they are helpful in temperature regulation in the epidermis region. Both apocrine and the eccrine sweat glands will pour their secretions ultimately on the epidermis region and will help in lowering the temperature of the body. So the sebaceous glands, as you can see, they are closely associated with the hair follicle and they pour their secretion inside the hair, lubricating your hair, and the excess of it will be lubricating the epidermis of the skin as well. Now, when the sebaceous secretion is less, at that time, the external layer of skin may form a powdery coating, which is visible, especially in winter season. When you scratch your skin or you mark your skin, a little powdery coating comes. That is because of lesser amount of sebaceous secretions during winters. The secretion of sebaceous glands increases during the rainy season when the amount of sebum produced increases and your hair may have a sticky feeling to it. Your skin may have a sticky feeling to it. That is because of increased production of sebaceous glands. Now, there are three skin conditions associated with sebaceous glands. The first one is called as acne. Acne is a problem associated with teenagers from the years 13 till the year 19. This problem is very prevalent. So what happens due to acne is that the adult body is being formed from a young child's body. So this transition causes an inflammation of the sebaceous glands. Due to that inflammation, there may be appearance of certain pimples in the body. But this is under hormonal influence, and as soon as the adult body has been formed, the acne disappear on its own. So this condition is due to inflammation of the sebaceous glands due to hormones. The second one is called as a boil or a pimple. A boil or pimple simply means that the open pore of the skin is blocked by sebaceous secretions. Bacteria start multiplying on it, and that may produce a boil or a pimple. That's a raised projection filled with bacteria. The boils and pimples increase if you have fatty food and a poor lifestyle. But if you start consuming lots of water and lots of raw vegetables and fruits, the boils and pimples reduce themselves. They take some time. You have to keep your face and body clean to prevent boils and pimples. They are not related with any age group. They are not associated with the hormone secretion. So here it is simply accumulation of sebum on an open skin pore and then the bacterial activity over it. The third skin condition is called as blackhead. So in blackhead, what happens is there's an open skin pore on which sebum accumulates. It mixes with the skin cells having melanin and gets oxidized. On oxidation, it will produce small black spots, especially on the T-zone on your face. That is your forehead and your nose and the nose bridge. That is the T-zone. So on this part, the blackheads are very common. So how to get rid of blackheads? You have to ensure that after you've taken a bath, you clean them off with a small, soft, wet towel. The blackheads come off very easily when the skin is moist. And then personal hygiene needs to be maintained to ensure that they do not occur. Now, the next gland which you are going to do is called as the sweat gland. The sweat gland, as I already told you, is of two types, apocrine and the eccrine sweat gland. The apocrine pours its secretion inside the hair follicle and the eccrine directly pours its secretion on the surface of the skin. But in both cases, they are able to produce sweat. Now, the sweat helps to regulate your body temperature. The body temperature regulation is very important in case of warm-blooded animals like humans. The sweat, when it is formed, it will evaporate, and being a liquid of highest specific heat capacity, it will absorb all the heat. So we say water takes all this latent heat from your body and evaporates, thereby cooling your body. So sweating is actually very good for us to regulate your body temperature. Now, sometimes you must have observed that people sweat, especially around their armpits and maybe around their collar region, even in winters. This is called as cold sweat. It may be due to fright, it may be due to nervousness, if you have a job interview, if you have a viva, if you have any kind of event which you're going to participate in, but you're not very comfortable about. That can lead to the cold sweats. Otherwise, the human body produces a minute quantity of sweat at all times. That's called as incipient perspiration. When there is excessive sweating, it may lead to muscles and the remaining part of your body aching because of loss of salts and water. Large quantity of salt and water may be lost. So to make up for that, you need to drink in, especially during summer season, a lot of juices, a lot of energy drinks to keep your body well hydrated. Now, the next gland which you are going to do is called as the mammary gland. The mammary glands are modified sweat glands. So here, instead of the body producing sweat, the body will be modifying itself to produce milk. Mammary glands are found both in males and in females, but they are rudimentary in a male. And in a female, they enlarge into a breast. The breast opens into a structure called nipple. And all these lobes, they will produce milk and pour it out through the nipple. But the only thing is that the production of milk is under the influence of a hormone called prolactin. Prolactin is only produced in a female who's lactating or a female who's pregnant. So this will produce the nutritive milk which is required for nourishment of the human baby. The human baby cannot digest any other food source except for milk, because the milk is rich in number of nutrients and is also responsible for creating immunity in the newborn baby. So the milk is produced by mammary glands and they are modified sweat glands. The next gland which we are going to do is called as the Meibomian gland. The Meibomian glands are basically modified sebaceous glands. They are present on the margin of eyelids like this. You can see that the Meibomian glands are formed here. They are modified sebaceous glands and they have one primary function. They will prevent overflowing of tears. In any person, the eyes produce tears at all times. The tears are there to lubricate your eyes. The moment you blink your eyes, you're able to lubricate your eyes by spreading the tear everywhere, preventing your cornea from going dry. So this tear, which has mucin, which has water, which has a little bit of fat also in it, is basically meant to lubricate your eye. The tears are produced by the lacrimal glands. The lacrimal glands will produce tears, the tears will lubricate your eye, and the Meibomian glands will prevent a healthy eye from losing those tears. So that overflow of tears does not take place. It's only when we are very happy or very upset, that means you're emotionally affected, that the tears overflow. But in a normal person, the tear secretion is required for healthy cornea. They also lubricate your eyelashes. The Meibomian glands are modified sebaceous glands. The next modified glands are the ceruminous glands. Now, the ceruminous glands are found only in your ears. They produce wax or the ear wax. They are again modifications of sebaceous glands. The ceruminous glands will produce ear wax. The ear wax basically prevents any dust particles or germs from entering and moving towards your eardrum or the tympanic membrane, thereby protecting your tympanic membrane from any kind of physical damage. The tympanic membrane should be free to vibrate. When it vibrates, it helps in producing sound which will be transmitted and ultimately reach your brain by the auditory nerve. So the tympanic membrane will help in this sound perception. And for this, the ceruminous glands will help to keep your ear canal free from any kind of blockage. If any germs and dust do get trapped, the hair which are present in the auditory canal, they will push this entire wax outwards towards the external structure of the ear, where we can remove it with earbuds or with a soft cotton cloth. So with this, we have finished the various derivatives of skin. Hope you have understood it all. Thank you very much and God bless you all.